everyone, today we're going to go over what to do with your dock on your Mac computer. What it is, how you can make changes to it, and how you can kind of move it around. So let's dive in. So to get started, what is the dock? The dock is this thing down here, this big bar that has all these different applications and where you're usually going to find things or open things. This is what the dock is. Now there's a couple things we can do. We can change the size, we can change its location, and we're going to go over those. But we're going to start by finding the settings that allow us to alter this dock. So to do that, up on the top left, you're going to see this little apple. We're going to click on that. Then you're going to choose System Settings. So go ahead and click on that, and then this box is going to open. You're going to scroll down until you see Desktop and Dock. Now these are the settings we're going to go over. I want you to look at the size of my dock on the bottom right now. We are going to play with this size option up at the top, and I want you to watch the bottom and see how it changes. So I'm going to go small. This is as small as I can make it. And then I can go big and make it as big as I can make it. That's how you play with the size. The next one is this magnification. Now I usually have this off, and I want you to watch when I bring my cursor over to the bottom. Nothing really happens except you see the name of what the application is. So reminders, messages, we're seeing information. But notice that nothing gets bigger or anything. If we come back up here to magnification and I make it as large as I can, notice how now it kind of like zooms in a little bit. It shifts and moves. That's what that magnification is. Now you can choose kind of a different variety of it, and it does change a little bit based on kind of how big your dock is. So notice if I have my dock as big as it can, but I make my magnification smaller, it doesn't do much. It doesn't really do anything. And part of that is because there's a max size that you're kind of allowed to work in. So if I make my dock size smaller and I mess with my magnification a little bit, notice how now it can move a little bit. It's really, really subtle, but there's some movement there. And it's just kind of playing around and finding what you like and what works for you. So that's the size and max magnification. Now next is this position on screen. You'll notice that it's defaulted to bottom. Usually your computer will come with it down here. You can move it to the left, where then it lives over on the side, or you can go to the right, where it lives on the other side. I have two screens right now, so you actually couldn't see it when I did it on the left, but it would pop up right here. I personally like it over here, so I kind of have more room on where I'm working, but the normal place that people have it usually is on the bottom. And then you have this minimize windows using. There's two different effects, scale and Genie. So I have mine on Genie defaulted right now. So if I click this little minimize button, it's going to make an effect as it goes down to the dock. So it kind of did this like little swirly small thing like a genie. Now if I click and open it and I change it to scale and I do that minimize, it just went to where it was. It didn't have any fun effect. So I'm going to show that to you again. This is the regular no effect. And then this is the genie effect where it's a little bit more genie-y, like coming out of a bottle. It's really, really subtle, really small. Honestly, you can play with it if you like one versus the other, but they're so small in change that I don't think it makes much of a difference. Another great feature in here is actually automatically hide and show the dock. So you'll notice I kind of forgot to film this, so I'm adding it back in, but my dock is over here on the right now. If I click automatically hide and show the dock, and I click that, over on the right, I want you to watch, it's going to disappear. And then if I bring my cursor over to the right, it will pop back out. So it's a way to kind of keep some room on your screen, but have things not always there, but you know it's there. And you can do that with it on the bottom down here as well. I come down here and it shows up. And then it functions as normal, but it keeps my screen a little less cluttered, which I enjoy. Some of these really aren't that big, and I'm gonna skip over them because they're not commonly used and really make small changes. But if you want to know more about that, please feel free to ask, and I'm happy to make a video on it. I'm going to skip to the next one that kind of adds a little bit of effect, and that's this animate opening applications. So if I turn that off, basically it's not going to have an animation. And the time that this actually matters is when we are opening an application for the first time. So if we look down here on my dock, some of these have little black dots underneath them, if you can see that. Those little black dots mean that those applications are actually opening but running on the background. So if you think about it like on your phone, when you swipe away to kind of clear all of those apps that are open and close them, our computer is similar. So anything that doesn't have a dot for me is not open, and anything that does is open. So this animating opening applications only works that first time you're opening that application. So nothing will happen if I do it with something with the black dot, but if I do it with something new like this, like Chrome, I'm going to click it. Nothing really happened down here and it just opened my application. Perfect. So now I'm going to close that out completely. I'm going to come here to animate opening applications and turn that on. And then when we come down here and click, I want you to kind of pay attention down here. Does this little bouncy thing. That's the animation. That's really the only difference for that button. Next is these show indicators for open applications. That's that little black dot I was talking about. So if I turn that off, notice how none of these have black dots anymore. And honestly, I want to know what's open, so I like to have that there. The show suggested in recent apps and dock is going to change what happens over here on the right. So if I click that, basically some other things pop up over here. Yours might be a ton and make this dock take up most of your screen. It might be small like mine and just be one little application, but it pretty much just creates that extra bar there and a little spot where different things can be. It's up to you, but those are kind of the main things. So those are some features of the dock and some changes you can make. I hope that helps. If you got questions, let me know. I like to help you with easy tech questions. Feel free to hit that subscribe button. And as always, if you got questions, just leave them below. I'll try and make a video like this one for you. All right, bye.